Hello everyone. Today we will discuss the poem The Last Ride Together. It is one of Robert Browning's finest dramatic monologues published in 1855 in his collection Men and Women. It captures the moment when a lover rejected by his beloved asks for one last ride with her. But this ride becomes symbolic of love, life, hope, failure, and even eternal bliss. The poem reflects optimism in failure and philosophical acceptance of fate common in Browning's dramatic style. Let's start stanza 1. I said then, dearest, since it is so, since now at length my fate I know. The speaker addresses his beloved and accepts that their love has failed. He now clearly understands his fate. She has rejected him. Since nothing all my love avails, since all my life seemed meant for fails, he realizes that all his deep love is of no use. Everything he lived and hoped for in love has ended in failure. Since this was written and needs must be, my whole heart rises up to blaze. He believes this was destined. It had to happen. Still, from the depths of his heart, he blesses her name. Your name in pride and thankfulness, take back the hope you gave, I claim. He lets go of the hope she once gave him, but does so with pride and gratitude instead of anger. Only a memory of the same, and this beside, if you will not blame. He asks to keep just the memory of that love, and also one more thing, if she allows without criticism. You leave for one more last ride with me. He humbly requests her permission for one final ride together, symbolic emotional moment to end their story. The speaker gracefully accepts his rejection in love. Instead of being angry, he responds with dignity and affection. He asks for no second chances, only a parting memory, a last ride together, which becomes a metaphor for shared time, peace, and closure. This shows his maturity and dignity in laws. Here only the lover speaks. It is a dramatic monologue. He is rejected yet feels grateful and uplifted. Stanza 2. My mistress bent that brow of hers, those deep dark eyes where pride demurs. The lady lowers her eyebrows, a sign that she is thinking deeply or reacting with seriousness. Her dark eyes reflect with pride and hesitation. Her pride is stopping her from showing softness or sympathy. When pity would be softening through, fixed me a breathing while or two. She may be feeling pity for the speaker, but her proud nature holds her back from showing it openly. She looks at him for a short moment. Breathing while means for a few seconds. With life or death in the balance right, the blood replenished me again. In that moment, the speaker feels as if his life or death depends on her decision. Her response, even though silent, gives him new energy and strength. My last thought was at least not vain. I and my mistress side by side. He realizes that his final hope to ride with her was not useless. She is considering it. He is riding beside his beloved, a great joy for him. Shall be together, breathe and ride. So one day more, am I deified? Who knows but the world may end tonight? They will share this experience of riding together side by side, breathing the same air. He feels like a god or deified because he is riding with her, even if not loved. Who knows the world might end tonight? This stanza beautifully describes the moment of speaker's beloved silently agrees to go for a ride with him. Her pride and hesitation are clear, yet her pity allows her to accept his request. For the speaker, This single ride becomes a moment of divine joy. The tension between love lost and momentary closeness is captured emotionally and poetically. Those deep dark eyes where pride demurs, here deep dark is an alliteration. The repeated D sound is an alliteration. Pride can demur or hesitate, it's a personification. With life or death in the balance, right? The speaker exaggerates the emotional tension. It's a hyperbole. My last thought was at least not vain. He rejected in love, yet still hopeful. It's an irony. So one day more am I deified? He feels like a god. He feels spiritually elevated. It's a hyperbole. Stanza 3. Hush, if you saw some western cloud, all billowy bosomed overboard. He imagines a beautiful western cloud puffed up like a woman's bosom and gracefully bowed down by many benedictions, suns and moons and evening stars at once. That cloud seems to be blessed by the sun, moon, and stars all at the same time, full of grace. And so you, looking and loving best, conscious grew, your passion drew. He says that she too may have felt this divine love, her passion pulling nature's beauty toward her. Cloud, sunset, moonrise, star shine too, down on you, near and yet more near. All these natural beauties seem to come closer to her as if she attracts divine grace. Till flesh must fade, for heaven was here. Thus leaned she and lingered joy and fear. In that magical moment, earthly feelings vanish. It's like heaven is here. She leans toward him, feeling both joy and fear. Thus lay she a moment on my breast. She rests on his chest for a brief moment. Then they begin the ride, and his soul feels relieved. If you saw some western cloud, all billowy bosomed overboard, here billowy bosomed means the cloud is puffed up like a soft rounded human chest or bosom, especially that of a woman. By using human qualities, a bosom and a bowing posture to describe the cloud, Browning personifies nature. This stanza is the emotional and romantic climax of the poem. The speaker transforms a moment of rejection into a moment of grace. By imagining the ride as a divine experience, like a blessing from heaven, he elevates physical closeness into spiritual union. He does not ask for love in return, but finds joy and contentment in being close to her for even a single moment. Stanza 4. Then we began to ride, my soul smoothed itself out a long cramped scroll. As their ride begins, the speaker feels deep inner peace. His soul, once tightly twisted with pain like a scroll, now relaxes and opens. The soul is compared to a long cramped scroll, a powerful image of emotional release. Freshening and fluttering in the wind, past hopes already lay behind. His soul feels light and free, fluttering like paper in the wind. He leaves all past hopes and disappointments behind. Here, freshening and fluttering is an alliteration by repeating F sound. What need to strive with a life, Audi? Had I said that? Had I done this? He now questions Why should I struggle with a life that's gone wrong? Thinking if only I had said or done things differently is pointless now. He leaves past hopes behind. So why struggle against a life that has gone off track? So might I gain, so might I miss, might she have loved me just as well? Even if she had acted differently, he might have won her love or still lost it, who knows? Here, repetition of might emphasizes uncertainty. This is called anaphora. She might have hated, who can tell? Where had I been now if the worst befell? Maybe she would have hated him. If the worst had happened, where would he be now? Probably miserable. And here we are riding, she and I. But in the end, what matters is this moment. They are together, riding side by side. This stanza marks a transition from emotional turmoil to peaceful acceptance. Earlier, he was feeling sad, thinking about how his love was rejected. He was full of emotional pain, questions, and regrets like, what if I had done this differently? Could she have loved me? Was it my fault? But now he stops worrying about the past and accepts what has happened. He realizes that asking what if will not change anything. Instead of thinking about failure, he decides to enjoy the present moment. The joy of riding beside the woman he loves, even if she doesn't return his love. Stanza 5. Fail I alone in words and deeds? Why all men strive and who succeeds? The speaker asks, am I the only one who has failed in love or life? Everyone tries, but how many really succeed? We rode, it seemed my spirit flew, saw other regions, cities new. As they ride, he feels uplifted. His spirit flies freely, imagining new lands and cities. As the world rushed by on either side, the world passes quickly beside them, suggesting time and life are moving fast, but he is focused on the ride. I thought all labor, yet no less bear up beneath their unsuccess. He thinks everyone works hard in life, but many still don't succeed, yet they keep going despite failure. Look at the end of work, contrast the petty done, the undone vast. When we look at life's work, most of what we achieve is small. What we have undone is always much greater. This present of theirs with the hopeful past. I hoped she would love me, here we ride. He compares the present, which is full of failure, with the past, which was full of hope and dreams. He accepts, I had hoped for her love, but even though I didn't get it, we are still riding together, and that is something to cherish. In this stanza, the speaker reflects on the universal nature of failure. He realizes that everyone struggles and true success is rare. Whether in love, work, or dreams, still people keep trying. This gives him comfort. He is not alone in his disappointment. He learns to accept that not all hopes come true. But even a moment of peace and joy like this ride is valuable and meaningful. It shows Browning's realistic optimism. Life is not perfect, but some moments are beautiful, and that is enough. Stanza 6. What hand and brain went ever paired? What heart ally conceived and dared? The speaker asks, has there ever been a person whose thought or brain and action or hand work together perfectly? Has anyone's dream or heart been exactly matched by their courage or dare to achieve it? The poet Browning uses antithesis. That means placing two opposite ideas side by side to show a powerful contrast. Hand stands for doing, turning thoughts into real action. Browning asks, have thought and action ever worked perfectly together? In the next line, heart conceived means the heart dreamed something. Heart dared means it had the courage to do it. He is saying we often dream big, but fear or limitations stop us from doing those things. So the contrast is thinking versus doing, dreaming versus daring. This is antithesis. Stanza 7. What does it all mean, poet? Well, your brains beat into rhythm, you tell. The speaker turns to poets and asks, what does all this mean? He says, poets express their thoughts by turning emotions into rhythm and rhyme. The speaker addresses poets in general. It's an apostrophe. What we felt only you expressed, you hold things beautiful the best. Poets express what others merely feel. They value beauty and try to capture it in words and paste them in rhyme so side by side. Poets arrange thoughts and feelings in rhyme side by side, giving structure to emotions. It is something, nay, it is much, but then, have you yourself what is best for men? Poetry is something great, but he questions, do poets themselves have the best things in life, like love, happiness, or fulfillment? Are you poor, sick, old are your time, nearer one with your own sublime? Many poets end up poor, sick, or aging before time, even if their poetry is lofty and beautiful. They are not necessarily closer to the greatness they write about. Then we who never have turned a rhyme sing riding's a joy for me I ride. The speaker says, we common people who have never written poetry are no less happy than poets. At least he gets the joy of riding with his beloved, and that is enough. This stanza is philosophical and ironic. The speaker compares himself with a poet, saying that poets may express feelings beautifully, but do they actually live the joy they write about? He respects poetry, but values real experience more. The actual joy of riding with a beloved, even for a short time. This reflects Browning's realistic optimism. Words and art are beautiful, but living a moment of true joy and love is even better. Real experience, even if it is brief, like this last ride with his beloved, is more meaningful than simply writing about love or joy without ever feeling it. Stanza 8. And you, great sculptor, so you gave a score of years to art her slave. The speaker now addresses a sculptor, another artist. He says, you spend 20 years or a score working hard for art, almost like a slave to your craft. It is an apostrophe because the sculptor is addressed directly. Art is described as a master whom the sculptor serves. It's a personification. And that's your Venus whence we turn to yonder girl that fords the burn. After all those years, the sculptor creates a statue of Venus, the goddess of beauty. But even then, people turn their eyes to a real village girl crossing a stream or burn instead. Real beauty in life is more appealing than lifeless perfection in art. In this poem, the word burn comes from Scottish and Northern English dialect, where burn means a small stream or brook, a narrow flowing of water. You acquiesce and shall I repine? You accept this truth quietly that real life is more attractive than your statue. So the speaker says, if you can accept that, why should I complain about my lost love? Acquiesce means accept without protest. Repine means complain or feel unhappy. The sculptor quietly accepts the reality that his statue of Venus, though beautiful, cannot compete with the charm of a real village girl. He doesn't complain or express regret over this truth. Similarly, the speaker feels that if the sculptor can accept such a deep disappointment without protest, then he too should not feel sorrow for losing his beloved. Instead of repining over his failed love, he chooses to appreciate the moment he has, a final ride with the woman he loved. What man of music you grown grey, with notes and nothing else to say? Now he addresses a musician who has grown old working with notes, melodies, and compositions, but in the end has nothing new left to say. The speaker says that even those who dedicate their whole lives to creating beauty, like poets, sculptors, musicians, often end up feeling empty or unfulfilled. Their creation may be admired, but they themselves might miss out on real joy. So the speaker feels that he is luckier in a way. Though his love did not last, he still has this one precious ride with his beloved, a moment of real experience and emotion which many artists never truly feel. Is this your sole praise from a friend? Greatly his opera's strains intend. Even his best friend can only say he meant well in his music, or his opera had grand ambitions. Not that it moved the world or changed lives. But in music we know how fashions end. This line reflects a harsh truth. Musical trends fade, what's beautiful today may be forgotten tomorrow. I gave my youth, but we ride in fine. The speaker concludes, I too gave my youth, but unlike you, I got this one great ride with the woman I loved. So he feels satisfied with his one moment of joy. This stanza expresses Browning's philosophy. Real lived experiences are more valuable than distant ideals. Even a fleeting joy can give life meaning. Stanza 9. Who knows what's fit for us? No one truly knows what is best for any person in life, whether love, success, or something else. Had fate proposed bliss, here should sublimate my being had I signed the bond. If fate had offered him perfect happiness in this life, and if he had accepted it, his soul would have been elevated or purified. Sublimate means to make something nobler or purer. Still, one must lead some life beyond, have a bliss to die with, dim descried. But even if someone finds happiness here, life still must go on. We all look forward to some unknown future, a distant, unclear happiness to carry us through till death. This foot once planted on the goal, this glory garland round my soul. If he had truly reached the goal, perhaps winning her love, and felt complete glory even then, could I descry such, try and taste? I sink back, shuddering from the quest. He says he cannot truly imagine or pursue such perfection. The idea of knowing the ultimate truth or joy scares him. He shrinks back from it. Earth being so good, would heaven seem best? If life on earth already feels so rich and joyful, like this ride, maybe heaven wouldn't even feel better. Earthly joy might be enough. Now heaven and sea are beyond this ride. But in the end, both heaven and his beloved are out of reach. The ride is almost over, and both his love and the hope of eternal bliss now seem distant. This stanza explores deep philosophical ideas about fate, fulfillment, and the nature of happiness. The speaker questions whether we can ever know or achieve true bliss in love or life. Even when offered happiness, he wonders if it would satisfy him completely. He reflects that real joy lies in the present moment, not in chasing unreachable ideals. He accepts that he may never reach heaven or have his beloved, but he finds comfort in the beauty of this brief ride. Stanza 10. And yet she has not so long. The speaker notices that his beloved has been silent throughout the ride, not a single word. But even in silence, he finds beauty and meaning. What if heaven be that fair and strong? He imagines what if heaven is exactly this silent, strong moment of love and closeness, full of unspoken emotion. At life's best, with our eyes upturned, whither life's flower is fast discerned, he imagines two of them. At the highest point of life, their eyes lifted in admiration and wonder, as if they are seeing life's truest beauty blooming for the first time. We fixed so, ever should so abide. What if they could stay in that perfect moment forever, unchanged just as they are now? What if we still ride on, we too, with life forever old yet new? He dreams of eternity as an endless ride with his beloved, growing older but still discovering new feelings and meanings in love and life. Changed not in kind but in degree, the instant made eternity. Their love and togetherness wouldn't change in nature, only deepen over time. This one moment of shared joy becomes timeless, a symbol of eternity. And heaven just proved that I and she ride together forever, right? He ends with a beautiful wish that this moment itself is heaven, not a distant place, but this shared ride, this brief union with the woman he loves. He imagines that eternity could simply mean riding together forever. This stanza offers a hopeful, almost spiritual vision. Instead of longing for a distant heaven, the speaker suggests that real love and joy in the present could be heaven itself. Even though his love is unfulfilled, the ride, the journey gives him peace, beauty, and a feeling of eternity. Robert Browning ends the poem with a powerful romantic idea. True heaven is not found in dreams but in the precious moments we live and feel deeply. It's a powerful ending that teaches us to cherish the present even when our dreams remain unfulfilled.